In this video, I'll show you how to grade and return your students' completed Google Forms. We'll talk about how you can take advantage of Google Classroom's Importing Grades feature, how you can modify your answer key to give credit for other acceptable answers, and how you can add feedback to a form before you return it to students. So let's get started. I'm in my Google Classroom on my classwork page, and I'm going to scroll down until I find the Google form that I want to grade. Underneath my Social Studies section, I found my Unit 1 Social Studies test. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click View Assignment at the bottom of the box. On the left-hand side of my screen, I have all of my students listed, and to the right of their name, there's a blank space for the grade for this Google form, and it's out of 13 total points. Now, if you don't have to review your students' answers at all because maybe your Google form is all multiple choice or there aren't any answers that you need to look at to see if you'd accept the answer or not, you can simply click on Import Grades in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and all of the grades will automatically fill in on the left-hand side next to each student. Because remember, you've created this Google quiz to have an answer key. So Google Forms is going to grade it automatically, and Google Classroom is going to import those scores directly here. Now, if you do need to review some answers, let's say you had some short answer questions, what you can do is click on the form in the middle of the screen, and then click on the Edit button in the upper right-hand corner. This is going to allow you to see the responses. So you can see on my Google form that at the top of the form, it says that I have 26 responses. I'm going to click on the word responses. On this first page, you'll see a summary of how your students did, but I'm going to click on the word question next to summary at the top. In this section, I'm able to look at any question I want and override my answer key. So I can actually mark an answer correct, even though in the answer key, I didn't give that option for it to be correct. So for me, I want to go to a question that I know was a short answer question because I know that my students have some difficulty with spelling, and I don't want their answer to be marked incorrect if it was a spelling error. I'm going to click on this down arrow next to this first question, and I'm going to go down and click on question number 9. I know that this is a short answer question. So it says, what are the 4 cardinal directions? North, south, east, and blank. Now, if I click on View Answer Key right under the question, I'm able to see which answers I already have put into my answer key that have been accepted. So you can see that I've included 5 acceptable responses. I'm going to hide this answer key by clicking on this up arrow. Now I'm going to scroll down and I can look at my students' responses. So the first response says west, and it's spelled correctly. 13 students responded that way. And you can see that it's correct because on the right-hand side, it has been given 1 point out of 1. That means it's correct. So I don't need to do anything to that answer. I can scroll down and see the next one, west with an A, and you can see again on the right-hand side, that was given credit for 1 point. If I scroll down to my next example, you can see that west is spelt with a capital letter, and 3 students gave that answer. But if you look on the right-hand side, there is no point value written in here. That means that that answer has been marked incorrect because I forgot to put a capital in my acceptable responses area when I created the form. So if I want to mark this correct, I'm going to click on the check mark that says Mark Correct. Then at the bottom, I have to save that answer. I'll click Save. And now when I scroll down again, you can see that now there is a 1 in this place. So that's going to award 1 point if they spelt west with a capital. I'm going to scroll down and see if there are any other acceptable responses. So you can see here, they did west with a capital W and an A. Well, I'm going to mark that correct as well. So I'm going to click the check to mark it correct. and I'll click Save. And I'd keep going down my list until I've gotten through all of them. This person put no. I'm not going to accept that answer, so I'm going to click the red X, mark incorrect. And I'll click Save. So now you can see as I slowly go through, the correct answers have a 1, and that incorrect answer no has a 0. If I wanted to add any feedback here to talk to my student about their incorrect answer, I can click Add Feedback, and I can enter just text here. I could insert a link to maybe a song on North, South, East, and West, or I can even insert a video from YouTube. If you enter in any feedback, just make sure you save it. And then I'm going to go back up to the top. So after you've reviewed any of those short answer questions that you think you need to review, you can go back to your Google Classroom tab at the top of the screen. And now I'm going to import my grades because I've looked over that question that I needed to look over. When I click on it, a box appears. It asks me if I want to import those grades, and I'm going to click Import. On the left-hand side, you can see that now all of the grades have been imported from the Google form. Now, if I want to leave my students any feedback, I can click on their name and then add a private comment here at the bottom. I'm going to say amazing job and click Post in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see that the student will now see amazing job when they get their form returned to them. To return all of my students' forms, I'm going to click in the box next to the word All Students at the top, and then I'm going to click Return. It's going to ask me if I want to return the work to all of those students, and I do. I'm going to click Return at the bottom. The last thing I want to show you is how those scores are automatically now in my gradebook. So if I click on my class at the top of the screen, and I click on Grades now at the top of this screen, I'm going to scroll over until I see that form listed at the top. And here it is. You can see this Unit 1 Social Studies test, and all of my students' scores have appeared in the column. Well, that is all for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please rate us on TPT. And if you have any teacher friends who you think might be interested in this course, please let them know where they can go to find it.